Welcome back to part two. My God, do I talk some, don't I? I did 10 minutes worth there. Anyway, we're in part two. We've arrived now. It's Monday the 6th of November, today, here and now. We've arrived on the 31st of October. As I just said in part one, we got to that part. We've got to Sedishforda. We've got there. We've come off the ship, and what a beautiful place. It's icy. Yeah, there's a bit of snow around. But what a beautiful little place, very vibrant colours. I loved the wonderful rainbow pathway that went through part of the main town that they've done. Again, I've got some pictures of that on TikTok. Let me just give a quick plug for that. So TikTok, the.second.coming63, that's me. On YouTube, the second coming. You'll find me anyway. So that's pretty good. Right, so from there we got into Sedishforda. We then drove the distance through to Hofsos. Hofsos. I know it sounds like you're drunk, doesn't it? But it's Hofsos. Hofsos. Absolutely glorious place. It's the right place to be. Mentioned it in part one of the video. It's the oldest place in Iceland. It's the oldest port in Iceland. And we're so lucky to be staying right on the actual port itself. Now, this port was used many a time for fishing right back into the 1500s. And that was, as we know, fishing and farming are the two main points of Iceland, really, to be fair. And as I'm doing this video to you, I'm looking out of the window in my bedroom, and all I can see is this beautiful ocean, beautiful mountains, and the tide ripping in. It's just absolutely beautiful. Again, I posted lots of pictures on there. We're in Hofsos. We then go on and visit during the time to Akureyri and to the church there. It almost looks like the Empire State Building, actually, which is quite fascinating from a distance. And I think if you see the pictures of the church and its points there, you'll see like the two towers, really. Quite surreal indeed. Not sadly, but we had to go right the way around because they're building these new massive great steps that will go up to the church there. The church itself was completed in 1940, Lutheran church, obviously, built on the place where star crystals were found in the year 1823 CE. Star crystals, what are we talking about with star crystals? For those who follow craft, for those who believe in the teachings and the books that I write and everything else, star crystals are quite amazing because they're almost like meteorites. We've all seen meteorites and we've all seen the volcanic parts and things, and we've seen moldavite as well. That's always a big one with a lot of earth-based religions and things, and moldavite. But star crystals are something very, very different. And if you ever get to see one in your lifetime properly, up close, and you get to hold one, then you've been privileged. You've been very privileged. So I'll talk about star crystals more so in my next book called The Realm. I'm doing a whole section on star crystals and what they actually are, what they mean, and where you possibly can find them on this place called Earth. So that'll be quite interesting. Anyway, after Akureyri Kirche, after Akureyri Church, we went to another church that was built on an older site in 1771. Once was the place of the gathering in medieval times. Now, of course, if we go to the periods of the Vikings, we know the Vikings were very prominent in Iceland, as they were in many, many other places as well, spreading their DNA around, sometimes voluntary, sometimes by force, for those of you that are old enough to understand what that really means. Sometimes by force. So we then went and saw a lovely little lighthouse that was built in 1920 and electrified in 1960, becoming fully automated in 95. Now, the lighthouse was interesting because it's on a point of area, but the main point was just the areas of significant importance to craft, that's for sure. If you believe in the energy lines and things and the magnetics, you'll certainly see that there. So went to the lighthouse. Then we travelled back to Hofsos. Now, on Thursday the 2nd of November, we did try, and we really did try, to get from Hofsos through to Hagonis whale watching. The road was horrendous. Now, stupidly, and it is stupidly on my part. There was two options. I could have driven as the crow flies south and then east and then up north, so I could have gone around sort of that way through Codieri and get through to Dalvik and then to Haganis. But because of where we're staying, it would have been easier to go straight through past the mountain cross through Siglifjorda. And we got up as far as Siglifjorda and the roads were absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. And there was a warning sign saying that in the winter months, basically, the long and short it was, if you break down or get stuck, you're on your own. You know, it says warning, these roads may be impassable during winter months. So that's a bit of a heads up, isn't it? So we had to miss the Whale Tour, sadly. But, you know, I always a great believer of these things. You do what you're meant to do, and what you're not meant to do, you won't. So, fair enough. We will have on the list soon, hopefully, as the weather's now starting to turn to be nicer again now, which is great, or a bit nicer-ish, if that's a word, nicer-ish. So we'll be going to Vama in Dolan, which is a historical place of settlement of interest for Princess Grower, and also the magnetic points crossed within that specific sequence. So when we look at the Earth's magnetics and geomagnetics, we get various crossovers at different points for a reason. Now, those of you that believe in pyramid energy, if we apply the pyramid energy theory to geomagnetics and also, for good measure, add a bit of frequency into there, then we've got almost that version of true craft, true magic. But again, I'm writing about that in my next book. So if you wanna find out more about that, obviously when it comes out in 2024, look for the book called The Realm by yours truly. So there we are. So that's that. So we've done quite a bit so far, really. To be fair. I think realistically we did a bit of a juggle around. We've been down to the 1238 Battle of Iceland Museum. That was quite nice. Lovely little shop in there. You get some lovely little things in there. What was good is I had a little go at virtual reality. Now, Janice and I had done this virtual reality down at a jail somewhere. I can't recall where it was, but a jail somewhere where you put a little headset on and you're sitting there stationary, and then when you look up and look down and look sideways and backwards, as the film's rolling, it sort of interacts with you, and you can see everything almost like it's real time, I thought that was really cool. This time round, you get suited up, you've got these little handset things, and you've got the headset still, and it really is virtual. It's so bizarre, but really nicely bizarre. So if you ever get a chance, and you happen to be in Sökukra in Iceland, and you get to go to the Battle of Iceland Museum, for the love of God, do the virtual reality thing. It's really, really worth it. What I like about Zodiaca churches as well is it's originally built in 1892 on the site of a Viking burial ground, which has great significance, obviously. It's said that in time the church will hold the beauty of the earth. What does that really mean? So what it means is that as the climate change changes and lands around the what you know as Earth sink, crack, split, become uninhabitable, become basically deserts really in time, the migrational pattern will naturally move north, won't it? And places like Iceland and places like Greenland, they're your new thriving farming communities for a period of time. Mark my words, it'll be well after my death, well after I've gone. But this, where we are today, is going to be some amazing populations, some amazing farming. And if there's a chance, if there's just that little chance to carry on and evolve, then perhaps the human race will. Who knows? Time will always tell, as we say. Anyway, we went to Black Beach down there as well, which is quite nice. And so the beach is just fascinating. Again, I've done quite a few posts about it already. The beach it's black sand, obviously because of volcanic mixtures and things. In the underbed of the ocean, brings it in, gives you this wonderful black sand. So hence Black Beach. Fascinating to see. Great experience, absolutely great experience. We're still here for another week, so we've got a few good things still coming up. Before I go, we've been to the oldest church in Iceland, Grafferkirke, so Graffer, which is only about 3.5 miles down from where Hofsosh is. So we've been there. That was beautiful. What I liked about that place is you had in the background a wonderful pyramid. And again, if you see my pictures on TikTok, the.second.coming63 on TikTok, you'll see the various posts. And if you get a chance to look at the oldest church posts, that's absolutely amazing to get those side by side. We saw some basalt columns, in fact, all the way around the coastline of Hofsosh are the basalt columns. We've seen those before down in Ireland. Certainly we've seen them in other places as well. Lovely to go up and touch them. Amazing. Obviously we've been covered most of this particular local area so far. So we'll see what the week ahead brings. This is part 2 to an end. I suppose I'll have to do a part 3 now. My God, I talk a lot, don't I? So, yeah, look forward to it. Tune in for part 3. So this is on YouTube if you're watching it. Look at it on TikTok as well. And if you're watching it on TikTok, please look at YouTube. Okay, take care. Ciao for now.